So, you ready to bounce in, JP?
Let's go ahead and do it, Sean.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going into the final game between ROOTDestiny and LGReSpOnSe on Shatter Temple. In the south position, we have LGReSpOnSe as the red Protoss. In the left position, we have Root Gaming's Destiny as the blue Zerg.
Now, close by air, as soon as Destiny sees that with the Overlord, you know, we've seen him go Hydra Roach so many games, or at least the past 2 games, and it's kind of the quote-unquote standard for the ZVP matchup. Do you think this will possibly favor Mutaplay at all? It's kind of not really seen that much in this matchup anymore.
You know, I even kind of feel like Roach Hydra is going to slowly phase out over the next year or so as players are starting to really love Zergling Baneling compositions against Protoss, or even just more aggression against Protoss in general. So I think the problem with the Roach Hydra is that it's so difficult off creep, especially if you're caught in somewhat of an awkward position. Whoa, look at ReSpOnSe taking the long swing around his base.
Drone Scout actually going out for Destiny. He has seen his opponent with that Overlord. Is there anything that he's really looking for with this initial drone?
I think he's looking for a gas geyser, JP McDaniel.
You might be right about that. Let's see if he goes directly to one.
Well,
nope, he's just going to chomp away at that pylon.
Now, this drone knows the virtue of perseverance. He will eventually begin doing damage to that.
Oh,
no.
He sees the probe.
He's going to start to bring the noise over here. He might return back to his initial ploy of picking off that pylon. But the drone is really going to hang out in the main until it can get a good sense of when these gas geysers go down. Upon seeing one, I'm pretty sure Destiny will be taking the second one right away. We will find out which one gets built faster. They, in fact, both have the same build time. So guaranteed second place for Destiny.
Cool started for Destiny. Not going to try to take his hatch with that probe, sneak it around his natural, and probably going to be adding that on eventually, like we saw him do last game in Metalopolis. Might not see a pylon just yet, as it oftentimes 100 minerals could be used in a better place than at your enemy's natural. And there go the 3 probes. This is looking very, very similar to the past 2 games that we've watched.
And you know, one thing I love about ReSpOnSe's play is that it's consistent. He clearly has practiced against this kind of deviation. It's very easy to be at a major tournament like this, and then you suddenly, for the first time ever, have a Zerg player steal your gas, and it can throw you off a lot. So I do like how calmly and thoughtfully ReSpOnSe is dealing with this. We see Zerglings and the Queen popping out for Destiny. Nothing too out of the ordinary here, but I want to compare Destiny to Idra for a moment, because we saw Idra get gas much later and only have 1 or 2 drones in it, getting a relatively late Zergling speed. And I think that is going to help Idra get that little bit of a better economy that I think is where exactly Destiny is suffering.
Looks like that probe will get chased off by the Lings. We are going to be seeing a hatch put down at the natural. The assimilator is going to go down, putting him up to 2, and it looks like we're just going to see what we've seen from ReSpOnSe the past 2 games. Very, very similar stuff here from these 2 players yet again, and all these matches, really.
Do see that one probe from ReSpOnSe really trying to get away from those Zerglings, and he just might. He actually took the longest path possible, and now he's going to head back down through the center of the map, and oh no, ReSpOnSe. The poor little probe. ReSpOnSe did some amazing probe dancing in game 1. They're not going to work out too well. But fortunately, ReSpOnSe just waltzes right into Destiny's main. It is not a big deal. He's going to be able to get a nice look at everything that's going on. Is there a layer? No. Is there a second gas? He didn't get to see. But in the meantime, we do see more gateways popping down for ReSpOnSe, as he again looks like he's going for a 3-gateway Sentry Expo.
Now, last game we saw that robotics facility go down. Do you think that really factored into a lot of the last game, as it kind of delayed his expansion a little bit later than usual? And he didn't really use it for anything except for that initial observer, which he didn't scout with because he had hallucination. He did have an immortal out, possibly to just defend against kind of an all-in with a Roachling from Destiny.
You know, I'm still not a huge fan of that robo facility. The observer didn't really do anything. The hallucination didn't. In this game, again, some more aggressive probe scouting by ReSpOnSe that is going to get denied, so I would not be surprised to see that hallucinate get queued up. There it is indeed going down, but I'm a little surprised that it's hallucinate before expansion. Generally, we want to get that Nexus thrown down first. Does look like ROOTDestiny now taking his second extractor. In the previous games, we saw Destiny wait until his lair was done and take all 3 extractors at the same time, so might have something up his sleeve.
Yeah, he is going lair without a Roach Warren yet. Does that signify anything to you, possibly anything like Mutaplay?
I would imagine it might mean something like that. You definitely are going to have a little bit more gas, but his lair is still halfway done. We haven't really seen any sort of tech deviation. So either way, Destiny has a couple more options, but he's going to have to be careful because he still doesn't know if ReSpOnSe is doing some sort of early expand or is going to try to be aggressive.
Typically, I think when you see all those sentries, you probably are thinking, well, he's just doing the typical 3-gate sentry expand play. So Destiny probably is not too worried. He is going to sneak in with a couple of lings, though, at the natural of response. Might even snipe this Nexus down, but Force Field should lock those lings in here very, very soon.
Uh-oh, and it looks like Destiny's trying to do as much damage as he can. It brings it down to about 100 life, and oh, he does manage to Force Field all the Zerglings behind. Another great Force Field by Response, picking off all those Zerglings. Only one lives. No, he's going to get completely denied and split in half right there at the bottom of the ramp. Very, very nice play there by Response. Now getting the Phoenix up to poke around on the map.
Now we see 3 spine crawlers going down for Destiny. How do you feel about that? Is that a little bit of an overreaction?
I mean, if he's going to continue making drones, I don't mind it, but I mean, I definitely don't like the position that Destiny finds himself in. He might even be trying to just hide an expansion up at the Northlands, or maybe just go for an expo next to the rocks. I'm unsure. He hasn't really done any tech choice yet. There finally is a Roach Warren going down, so might be doing a pretty typical Roach with speed play, but man, that's a lot of gas he has stockpiled.
Yeah, I figured we'd see mutas or something out with that much gas stockpiled, but there's the Spire actually going down, hiding in a very, very off-beaten path. I mean, I think maybe the Phoenixes might be able to see that if Response is active enough scouting. There goes one. We'll have to track that down and see if he actually spots that Spire eventually. He does have a path laid out for it just right now, but he doesn't actually have it queued up anywhere else. So is he going to spot that Spire? It's going to be very, very important to see if he actually does.
Looks like he definitely knows what is going on. He clearly sees the Roach Warren there and is convinced, yes, 100% Roach with speed, or maybe Roach with burrow. Better try to move out to do some damage, but what he doesn't know is that there's the Spire going down up at the north end. But I'm a little worried for Destiny because look at his money. He has 900 gas, but has absolutely no minerals at all. And with this many spine crawlers, I'm going to be feeling a little bit suspicious if I am in Protos's position.
And the other thing, too, is that he's almost supply capped, 56 of 60, and I thought he would try to save up some minerals, so as soon as that Spire does finish, he can pop out 10 mutas, but at the same time, a couple of Overlords are going to be popping out, but he won't have enough to pop out 11 mutas. He's now up to 1,100 gas.
I mean, this is non-stop Phoenix production by Response, and uh-oh, look at this Q path.
Oh, he won't see it unless it flies up right there.
That's actually going to be really close. The Zerglings are now beginning to knock out these destructible rocks. Let's see if he ends up spotting the Spire. We see that there are no Mutalisks being made yet. There's 5 Mutalisks coming out right now. Response is starting to head down. This is going to be really close. Is he actually going to see anything? Oh! Completely misses that Spire up at the north end, but again, you're going to be feeling real suspicious if you are in Response's position. Will he end up staying alive to see the Mutalisk? He has 4, 3, 2, 1, and it's gone. And the Mutalisks are going to hatch seconds later. Destiny, the king of little edges. So it does look like with this third base going down for Response, he's going to be caught completely off guard by these muta numbers. Yeah,
now with that huge surge of mutas, you're going to see Destiny try to do as much harassment into the mineral lines of Response as possible and without losing any. And if we go look at Response's army, he's probably going to be pretty sentry heavy right now. Yeah, only 4 Stalkers. He does have a Twilight Council going down, but is he going to be getting Blink? We'll have to wait and see. That's typically how Protoss users will deal with mutas, but that is a lot of mutas right now and not so many Stalkers. We do have a couple cannons in place, though, but here come the mutas.
And Destiny's moving in right now. He's going to pick off this Stalker, and there he's trying to morph in more Stalkers. Big surprise for LGReSpOnSe. The cannon's going to fall. He's going to begin picking off as many probes as he can, and the sentries and anti-air units are starting to wrap around, but there's more one control group syndrome going on by Response. All the zealots are there in the main 2, getting in the way of the other anti-air units, and the probes at the expansion are completely vulnerable, doing huge damage there as well. And Destiny going to go, oh, I'll just go back to the main. And those probes are vulnerable again, is doing damage back and forth, and there's very little that Response can do with no blink and no cannons.
Now, at the same time, I would have figured Destiny would try to take a third, but he is adding on a couple of Roaches into his army mix. Still on 2 base, though, while his opponent is trying to get up that third. The mutas continue to be as annoying as ever. Losing a couple there for really nothing as the pylon is still alive. It looks like that third Nexus has been finished. Some Lings are going to try to get into the natural here. There's really no units to defend against that except for 1 cannon and 1 Immortal, which surely will fall to these Lings.
And the Immortal does end up getting taken out, but exactly as you say, JP, I'm getting real worried about the fact that Destiny does not have a third base. He just started the gold expansion, but he's doing some attacking in the bottom right while his Mutalisks are geared up on the left side, so he's beginning to do damage to that Nexus. Can't decide if he wants to target fire or pull back, and now he finally has decided he's going to run away, but there's in fact some destructible rocks working against him. But no, it looks like he was just trying to pull all the units back So that way he could do an attack in the main, but it looks like the Blink Stalkers from Response are going to pull back in time, and thank goodness for this little plateau, because Destiny has a hiding spot.
He's going to be popping back and forth there. Oh, and a Blink. He is going to lose a couple of Mutalisks. He's going to run straight into 2 cannons and a couple of sentries and a Stalker here.